groups were announced earlier this week. Let's go through them. All right, let's start in the East, shall we? Because I'm on the East Coast. East 1, FC Cincinnati, New York City, and Querétaro. East 2, Orlando, San Luis, and Montreal. East 3, Tigres, Puebla, Inter Miami. Ooh. East 4, Philly, Charlotte, Cruz Azul. East 5, Revs, Nashville, Mazatlan. East 6, Pachuca, Red Bulls, Toronto. East 7, my beloved DC United, in there with your Santos and Atlanta United. What about over in the West? 8 groups in the West, because, there's just more teams in the West. 1, Rayados, Pumas, Austin. That could be interesting. This one's very interesting. West 2, we got the Chivas, San Jose, and the Galaxy. So both Chicharito and Cade Cowell with the chance to go home. Group 3 in the West, St. Louis, FC Dallas, Juarez. Group 4, Toluca, Kansas City, Chicago, Leon. Who is that? Rapids and Portland. I can't even read my own handwriting there. And 5, 6, Seattle, Minnesota, Necaxa. 7, LAFC, Vancouver, Xolos. 8, Houston, RSL, and Atlas. Columbus and Club America get the bye into the round of 32. Now, it's probably worth explaining here before we ask if you are cool with it. All of these rankings, Herc, all of these groups are based on the Leagues Cup ranking system, which is effectively your last 34 league games, right? Now, based on that, the top 4 Liga MX teams, which are América, Rayados, Chivas, and Tigres, those 4 have earned hosting rights. They're not going to play in Mexico, but they will, if they advance, have a hosting hub so they won't have to travel as much. Because you'll remember, Rayados and our good buddy Tato Noriega were complaining quite a bit at the Leagues Cup last year about just how much travel the Mexican teams had to do. So are you cool with it, the new and improved Leagues Cup format?
So you're telling me Tigres, who is a West Coast team per se, I would say, will host in the East? Because if not, why would you go West Coast to Miami to limit travel? All right, whatever. This is so hard. I go back and forth with this because remember, all games are in the United States, right? And I think to myself, like, how unfair is this for fans? I feel for the fans, the Liga MX fans who in Mexico want to see their team and want to see Messi. They want to see other players in Major League Soccer play in their hometown, play in their stadium, and the travel and what that may do to the possibilities of winning this tournament for certain teams. But then I think to myself, I have to be cool with it because whether it's out of ignorance or necessity that Liga MX is bending over this way, and they are, it's to their own doing. It's their own ownership groups. It's their own federation who are doing this. And it upsets me for the fans, but they're doing it. It's their doing. Now, as far as how this is ordered, as far as if we can take stock into the draw, there needs to be something done. This isn't a fake trophy. This means something. Maybe not to you. Kind of
feels like it the way they made this format.
Maybe not to me, but you get CONCACAF Champions Cup positioning, which leads you to Club World Cup. If that's the actual format, if that's the actual worth, FIFA seriously needs to look into this draw, how it's actually done. Because if they're rewarding you, if they're trying to say the ultimate prize is a FIFA World Cup, then it matters how you get there. It matters who's playing who and how it's fairly drawn.
Yeah. Somehow they managed to make this feel like even less of a real competition. You know, when you're not going down to Mexico, it doesn't feel like a real honest-to-goodness competition. So the U.S. teams, as you say, have the advantage over the Mexican teams. But now we've picked these 4 Mexican teams to give an advantage over all the other Mexican teams. So we're making it even more unfair. I don't know what the aim is here, but it makes me appreciate the CONCACAF Champions Cup a whole lot more, because that now feels like the legitimate test for who truly is the best in this region. I know MLS wants us to think that this is that test, that this is that measuring stick, but it's just not. And I got to say, Herc, because I know you're about to give us your favorite groups, and there are some kind of interesting, sexy matchups here. There's also a whole lot of just meh. A whole lot of like, who's going to want this? Who wants Juarez against St. Louis?
You know what?
Who wants Mazatlan against Revs? Who wants San Luis against Montreal? Who wants the famous Querétaro against FC Cincinnati, which guess what? Now we actually get, wasn't it Chelis that said that?
No, he said Puebla. He said Puebla.
Oh, okay, okay.
But you're right. You know what it is? We're seeing that both leagues have become leagues of the haves and have-nots. And if you're not part of the haves, nobody wants to see you. Very few people outside of your sector, your fan base, want to see you.
Yeah. Feels kind of like a glorified exhibition, and it better be good because they're going up against the Olympics, which in this country anyway matters. Not just all ratings, but U.S. women, U.S. men, both there this time around. All right, so let's dive into these groups, Herc. You have been tasked with some homework. You got to give us your watchability ratings. I love the categories here.
Watchability.
The categories are skip, meh, if it's on, good watch, and must watch. So let's start. I guess we're starting at the bottom. Yeah, let's start
at
with
the bottom.
skip.
Is that what we're doing? All right, we're gonna skip West 3, which is St. Louis, FC Dallas, and Juarez. Listen, with all due respect, excuse me, to these great fan bases, nobody outside your fan base, nobody outside your fan base is gonna want to watch you in this tournament. That's a reality. And we saw what FC Dallas was like when there was another team playing there. In Leagues Cup. It wasn't that great. There were more Cruz Azul fans to speak. You know, Juarez, what can I say? Sometimes they struggle to fill out their own stadium. St. Louis is a great venue, but I seriously doubt that anybody in Mexico is going to want to watch St. Louis and Juarez. Yes. Okay. So let's go to the next one. I'm going to go with the West 8, and that is Houston, RSL, and Atlas. Now, I know this one hurts you a little bit. I know it does. You got a soft spot for Houston. You got a soft spot for
Houston
Ben
RSL, that's an MLS playoff rematch.
Yeah, okay. Listen, you told me Hector Herrera would put butts in the seats. That didn't happen. Though towards the end, they did get better. These are just teams that don't draw well on a national scale nor international scale. And Atlas, who's I can't even begin to tell you the world of problems they are in right now. Their own fans don't want to watch them, so it's unfortunate for them. All right, let's go on to the, if it's on, yeah, I'll check this out. Okay, I could find a reason to check this out. So we're going to go with the Portland Timbers, new coach. Our boy Neville's there, new coach. They just sold the team. I know you're happy about that.
Let's go.
Let's go. Colorado Rapids, let's see what this is about. Let's see if this team has changed, and Leon, who are the defending CONCACAF champions. And then, this is a very good watch right here, the LA Galaxy.
This isn't number one. Wow.
I'll tell you why.
This would be number one for you.
Well, the LA Galaxy, San Jose Earthquakes, that's a rivalry. And if you're in, they sell out Stanford to watch the Galaxy. Without the stars, they want to watch Galaxy versus San Jose. Okay, that's a rivalry right there. And then you got Chivas, big, massive brand with Chicharito Hernandez facing off against his old team. And Chicharito Hernandez, who thinks of, in some way, of San Jose as a rival because he's gotten to play in that rivalry. Just the El Morbo, just the storylines here are amazing. Kate Cowell coming back to San Jose. Too many storylines. That's a good watch. Let's do it. And then your must watch. I mean, listen, must watch for MLS, must watch for Champions Cup, must watch in this region is Inter Miami. And guess what? Before I talk about the other juggernaut, let me talk about Puebla. Since el repechaje, the play-in era in Mexico started, only 2 teams have made the playoffs every single season. One team is Club America, the current champions. The other team is, believe it or not, Puebla. Puebla always finds a way to be competitive. And the other team in this group, André Pierre Gignac, Nahuel Guzman, Guido Pizarro, the young blood of Diego Lainez, the young blood of Marcelo Flores. All these stars, the best team over the course of the last 15 years in Liga MX versus Messi and friends. That is must-watch TV.
I'm with you. I think the only thing in MLS that's must-watch TV is Inter Miami and Messi. So I get why you put them first. Doesn't hurt that 2 of your other former employers were in that group as well, in Tigres and Puebla. Let me ask you this. What do you think Chicharito's reception will be when he goes home to the Galaxy, right? Because I think like Cade Cowell going back to San Jose, going back in San Jose, they probably love him there. I wonder how Galaxy fans feel about Chicharito, like how they feel about his 4 years there.
No, I don't think they're negative about his time there. I think they are appreciative for when he did well when he was on the field. I don't think there's that much of a response as you might seem. It's not like a Douglas Costa coming back type of deal. It's not anything like that. I think they'll respond well to Javier Hernandez.
There you have it. Chicharito with a chance to go up against his former team.